Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending from where you're watching from. My name remains Sam Wonyebuchi, the anchor of Eden Cultural Academy. Today we'll be looking at what is the difference between tailoring and fashion designing. The difference between who is a tailor and who is a fashion designer. Most time people call themselves a fashion designer without knowing the core duties of a fashion designer and what makes you to be a fashion designer. In this class this day, we'll be looking at the differences between a tailor and a fashion designer. Stay put with us as we take you on this journey. You're welcome back. Now today, who is a tailor? In simple words, a tailor is a person who makes clothes, especially for men. A tailor also is an artisan who fits and measures a customer for a garment to be tailor-made. A person whose occupation is making and altering garments, typically to fit a particular person. This is who a tailor is. A tailor is someone who makes dress particularly to fit a person. Now, a tailor has every business with the sewing machine. A tailor is not completely a tailor if the person doesn't fit the garment, if the person doesn't cut, if the person doesn't measure, and if the person doesn't have to work with the sewing machine to make the said design or the said garment. Without a sewing machine, a tailor is not called a tailor. Without the person coming on a sewing machine to join the garments together, to make the fabrics together, to make a garment, it's not yet called tailoring. I wonder these days why people feel so irritated when they are being called a tailor. I just want to let us know that so long as you have a business with the sewing machine, you remain a tailor. So long as you have a business with the sewing machine, you remain a tailor. Next thing we'll be looking at is who is a fashion designer. A fashion designer creates original clothing, accessories. They sketch designs, take note of that word. They sketch designs, select fabrics and patterns, and give instruction on how to make the products they design. The fashion designer creates original clothing, accessories. They sketch designs. Now, a fashion designer's duty, core duty. So, but if you know you have nothing to do with the sewing machine, all you do is just to sketch styles and give it to the tailor to make, then you're just a fashion designer. In plain language, I always use an architect and a builder to explain this. An architect is someone who sketches how a building should look like in a paper. Yes, we draw it from the system, where the toilet will be, where the living room will be, where the kitchen will be. He sketches such on a paper with their technologies and the techniques involved, and give it to a builder who in turn interprets it to the physical structure you see standing as a building. So if the architect just designs and there's no builder to build, it remains in the paper. It doesn't stand as a building. It's never a building. It's just an idea or it's just a design. But once the builder comes up with the sketch and studies it and knows the mapping made by the architect, he'll be able to build the house and make it a standing structure for someone to live in. So likewise, tailoring and fashion designing are two different things entirely. Let's not get it twisted. Tailoring and fashion designing are two different things, but they work hand in hand. You can be a tailor and not a fashion designer, or you can be a fashion designer and still be a tailor. It all boils down in the creativity involved, in your creative mind. How creative are you? How many styles can you create? How many styles have you been able to sit in your closet and it comes to your head, you bring out a pen and a paper and you sketch it down that has not been worn by anyone, and you make it, interpret it on the fabric and make it. So with this little knowledge, I think we'll be able to understand the basic difference between a tailor and a fashion designer. If you have any other suggestion, ideas you want to share, drop in the comment section. Let's talk about it. But I deem it fit to bring us this video this day to differentiate between these two, and let us understand that tailoring stands as a field on its own, and fashion designing stands as a field of his own. If you have any business to do with the sewing machine, my dear, you remain a tailor. Thank you, and God bless you. See you in our next video. Have a blessed day ahead.